Hey everybody. Hey everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. We coming on in. Okay. Hello. All right, so we are here and hey, we are back. It is Monday, July 17th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are back with a chat with friends, flying free, singing through fear. Okay, so I have some lovely guests, and we are going to bring them on in 2 seconds. Let me make sure I'm here on the Facebook. Okay, where's Facebook? How are you guys doing? Okay, yes. And here we go. Perfect. All right, we are good to go. All right, everyone, we are going to bring on our guests. We have some friends of mine, new and old, bringing on Samiah and Elizabeth.
What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. It's Monday.
Yes, it
Oh,
is. How y'all feeling?
Monday, but
I actually like Mondays because Mondays are my days like to do nothing. I did a lot today, which is rare, but Mondays are usually good for me because I get to just chill and be with my kid and my husband and God.
Yes.
So yeah, it's been cool.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. And let us all know where you both are located, and then you can just go ahead and give a quick intro. Whoever wants to go first.
It's up to you.
You go ahead, Elizabeth.
I'm game for whoever. Like,
Okay. I am actually located in Orlando, Florida. I am originally from Miami, Florida, and I moved here 3 years ago. I am Elizabeth Loren, the Muse. I'm an expert style incubator, creative consultant, and coach, and I am the CEO of the Creative District.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
all right. Well, I'm Samiah. I am from Washington D.C. and I was also born here. So, yeah, home is home. But yeah, I sing in the band with the same name, Samiah, and I'm the singer. And I write music, play guitar, all that good stuff.
Yes.
I love it.
Thank you both so much for joining us today. I'm so excited. We're going to be digging into ridding the fears in singing. I actually don't think I introduced myself. I'm Leah Hinton. So this is
Gotta
our show
introduce
here
me.
today. We're here with a chat with friends, and we really dig into, just why we have those fears, where they come from, and just really your story. So I'll go ahead and offer the question to you both. Whoever wants to start can. What is your relationship to fears in singing? Whether that's performance anxiety, stage fright, just any type of limiting fears.
Yeah, I don't know who wants to go first with this one, but let's see. I guess since I threw you on the bus first, I'll go with this one. So let's see. For me, I'm gonna pick D, all of the above. One thing I can say is when I first started, I guess my musical journey with discovering that I could sing, it was kind of hard for me because I couldn't do it in public at all. It was really, I had tried, no sound would come out. It would just be like, just air. All of it dies. And I do think it does stem from just anxiety, social anxiety, and kind of a fear of like being bad, which kind of exacerbated the issue, I would say. So you almost, nothing came out because it's almost as if I don't do anything, no one can really say it was bad. And then it kind of snowballed until, we fixed that issue. But I suppose that will be maybe for a later question.
Mm. Interesting. Yeah, nothing will come out, and if you don't do it, then they don't. You don't have to worry that they would have an opinion about it.
Exactly.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. What about you, Liz?
Um. Okay, so I got two different ones. So I am a pastor's kid.
Hmm.
So I grew up singing in church, and y'all, literally every time I had to sing, I would cry. Okay. Oh, it started like that. Um, but when I realized I was actually like really, really good at it,
Hmm.
I started doing competitions, started in, I think it was the sixth or seventh grade. And then I went on to continue to do it, so much so that I opted not to go to college straight out of high school because I wanted to sing full time. I made a deal with my mom that if I could make something shake the first 2 years out of school, that I would not have to go to school. And I did. I was able to join the top 40 band and then all the things, right? So let's fast forward that. So after joining the top 40 band, which is in like nightclubs, casinos, all the things, right? Y'all, it tore my cords up.
Oh,
Okay. All the smoke that's in the air that you're constantly inhaling while you're singing,
Yeah.
um, maybe drinking some of those nights or whatever, and that's drying it out even more. So I ended up developing like these polyps on my cords or whatever.
Mm.
And it got so bad to the point. So once I decided to not do top 40 anymore, I was still a praise and worship leader as well. So I was still continuing to sing on top of the issue. And I had done that so much to the point where I would wake up and not have anything, like no voice at all. And can you see me?
Yes.
Okay. So I would wake up and literally not have a voice at all. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I had a, I had a concert I did with Shayna Wilson, and
Yes.
my voice completely went out while I was singing.
Mm.
And the Lord still showed up. It was still good, but I literally had to do the rest of my set with no voice and really just lean on the Holy Spirit to get me through that. That was the day that really instilled that fear in me again.
Mm.
So I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't sound the same anymore. My instrument is failing on me. What am I going to do? And so I think I allowed the fear of what was new, because I didn't have the same range anymore. Like my voice completely changed. It's very, very raspy now. And I just didn't know how to navigate mentally with the change. So for years, I moved here 3 years ago. I just started back singing in November. And every time I get up there to do praise and worship, my armpits are sweaty. So that answers that. I'm doing it, but I'm doing it scared. And I think the same thing that somebody was saying, like, it's the anxiety of like, is it going to sound bad? Like, am I going to do bad? And like the pressure of that, or sounding perfect, that it will shut you down if you allow it to. So I just choose to fight through the angst and just do it. So yeah, that's my tidbit on that.
Yeah. That's well, definitely kudos to you for continuing to do it because, yes, you just got to keep going. Got to keep going. And as you are experiencing that now, even though you already know, and both of you know, you have an amazing voice, you have the skill, you have the artistry and all of that. But, through, that traumatic time, this kind of brought out a little bit more anxiety currently. So how is kind of getting more into your mind? How is that process getting up on stage every Sunday and kind of going through those emotions? How are you uh, walking through that?
Can y'all hear me?
I can hear
We
you.
can hear
I
you.
cannot hear y'all at all.
Oh, you can't hear us at all?
Should I hop off and hop back on?
Yeah,
Go
maybe
ahead and
try.
try. I'll
Back.
start the. Do you want me to start the question? I can start it.
Can you
Let
hear
me
us
see.
now?
Can you hear us?
Okay, hop off and then
Okay,
come.
I'm gonna hop up and come back on.
Okay, sounds good.
All
Yeah.
right. Do you want me to try and take a stab at this one?
Um, let's bring you back to the beginning because we used to have, like we were talking
Yeah.
the other day, we used to have so many conversations about this, and just we really like walked through a lot of it together too. So
Yeah.
kind of bring us back to um, college days. Like, how
Um,
was that just dealing with the performance anxiety and, just wrapping your head around that, getting through it? How was that?
to be honest with you, you were definitely a huge part of that journey. So this is why I'm really just happy you invited me here. So thank you again for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just insanely feeling like I think I was also in a stage of like insecurity because it's like, so many people, I'm surrounded by so many amazing singers. I have no idea what I'm supposed to sound like. I don't know who I am. What this is supposed to be. So when you and I became friends and you kind of pushed me to do other things, I don't think I would have gotten the amount of stage experience I did without you because you were always forcing me, hey, we need to do this background gig. We need to do this. We need to do that. And so that was kind of like my wedge in the door
Mm-hmm.
of okay, maybe I can do this. And it used to be to a point where I was like scared to be on stage without you. So now I kind of put on my big kid shoes and I can be on any stage anywhere. But it definitely took, I would even say after college, for me to kind of take the things I did with you and make it come full circle. And the truth is, the only thing that really happened was I got angry. I was like, I'm capable of so much more. I don't understand why I'm just limiting myself to these types of things.
Right.
And once I did that, I took less hours at my job. I started having band rehearsals, auditioned for a band who wanted a male singer. I said, hey, let me do this. Got in, was their singer after that. Then years later, they kind of disbanded. And then now I have my own band, and it's just going to keep going from here.
Yes.
Love it.
That's awesome. Awesome. Yeah, it's definitely a journey. I mean, I think we all can agree. It's a journey.
For real.
It's a process and it's a journey. And yeah, so getting back to you, Liz, how is that currently? How is that journey?
Like I said, I'm learning to fall in love with the sound of my own voice again. It was super, super hard because um I had kind of developed this sound over the years, and for that to be completely like changed was like it was hard for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like I couldn't stand the sound of my own voice. Um, Even now, it's hard for my husband to get me to come and record anything, even just background work for him. It's like, because I just don't feel like I'm good enough right now. But I think just kind of working the muscle and getting back into it is what's helping me build the confidence back up. So it's been cool just being on the process. Like you said, it's a journey, and I think that I am content with the progression of the journey, just falling in love with that. Like, okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. It'll be perfected as you go. Just keep going. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. And so before that experience that has brought you to where you are now, were you happy with your voice? Were you content with your voice at
Love,
that?
I love it. Like I said, I had really mastered what I had.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved my tone.
Mm-hmm.
I was a very stylistic singer. So I loved it. I loved my voice.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just like all of the good parts. I felt like all of the good parts were gone. But I'm learning that there's still some really good stuff. Like I still got some butter left. So I'm like, okay, cool. I could I could work within the realm that I have. It might not be as much range, but I don't need all that. And I think once I started to listen to like the Brandies and like even Toni Braxton, she's not like the best vocalist, but just how she stays within her realm of her tone, like, and she works that. So I've been listening to more of that, just falling in love with what I have left and mastering that part of my voice now.
Yes. Yes, I
That's a
love
good way
that.
to put it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you got what you got, and I think everyone has a unique style and sound, even if it's continually being shaped and molded. Everyone has that special sound that showcases who they are.
Yeah.
Love that, love that. And so this is always an interesting side of it, going from confident to you know, maybe some type of traumatic experience, which kind of pulls back your confidence a bit and you rebuilding that confidence again. Um, what would you say to someone who is going through that currently? Just because I have tons, I think we all have tons of friends who have experienced something and we all have had that moment as well, have experienced something and all your friends are telling you, you're amazing, don't even think like that, but you still have that, whatever it is in you that you have to overcome, that you have to, find that confidence again. What would you say to someone who's going?
I think I would just tell them, like, be patient with yourself, first of all, and eliminate the self talk. You're going to have people outside of yourself that'll tell you no, that'll tell you that you're not good enough, and all of those different things, right? So let them tell you that. But what you say to yourself is really what matters the most. And all the negative self talk, like, you got to dead it. So when you get up in the morning, I don't care if you have to look in the mirror every day, intentionally speaking those good things over yourself, telling yourself, you know what, you got this. You have the best voice I've ever heard. Whatever it might sound cheesy, but it really builds you back up to a space where you can go out into the world and not worry about what other people think about it.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm just gonna co-sign on that because that still happens to me every single time before stage. Every single time before I step on stage, Leah might know this, but anyone who may know me, other outside of her, who's actually performed on stage with me, would not. I still have a mini panic attack anytime before I go on stage. I'm always like, okay, I can't do this. But I have like made this point to myself where all of the negative things, anything I might think, anything that I'm thinking could go wrong, the moment I step on the wing or wherever my performance space is, it's gone. There's nothing there. And that from the moment my foot crosses that threshold, I'm the best there ever was.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's how you have to be. It
Yes.
sounds like so weird, but like, that's how you have to be because this is my stage now.
Yep.
Yes.
Period.
Yes, I love that. This is my stage now, and it's so true. You have to have that confidence. And I remember a friend of mine who was saying he had did the voice Afrique, and he was saying how he had gotten a lot of feedback. Of course, a lot of positive feedback, but some of the negative feedback that he would get is they felt he was overconfident. And it's like you have to be confident in those situations in life, period. I think we all should be able to shine our light and be confident and it not be taken negatively as overconfidence. But when you're on stage and you're performing, or even not even just performing, worshiping, as we all sing in church and things like that. So, but you have to have that confidence.
Yep.
You do. And I
Yep.
love that you said to somebody, this is my stage now at this point. It's like,
There's no one gonna do it other than me. Like there
Yep.
can't be anyone else.
exactly.
Like
Yep.
Y'all watching me. So, yes. Yeah. And so getting back to, moments towards the beginning, I'll say, maybe if this applies to you, Liz, I'm not sure, but just thinking back to your more initial stages of singing, right? When you're first developing that stage presence and your artistry and just building up your confidence, what was something that you held on to allow you to keep going? Because I know for me, there were so many moments, not that I wanted to give up, because I never felt like I could give up, but you do sometimes feel like, oh my gosh, like, am I ever going to feel confident in this? Am I ever going to really feel like I'm doing this? Like, when you feel those moments and those emotions, what is it that keeps you going?
You know what? I think, and I've come to this certain resolve, maybe 3 or 4 months at this point, that I really need the Holy Spirit for everything.
Mm,
And I think just holding his hand to do it is what helps me to keep going. Like knowing that there are certain things that the Lord will use to woo you back to him, right? Because he's so funny. Like he'll use any little thing to just draw you back to him, whether that's singing or a business or whatever, to just bring you in closer relationship with him. And I believe in singing, because I was so good at it, I didn't really feel like I needed him for it.
mm,
And now I'm in a space where I know like I need him to do it. Like I'm not just going off my own gift. You know what I'm saying? So what keeps me going is just knowing like this brings me into closer relationship with the Lord. And it's not even just me singing gospel music. Even if I'm singing anything outside of that, I need him to do it. Like that's just really what it is. And that's what keeps me coming back, because it's exciting. It's exciting when you realize like, okay, like this is cool. We actually kicking it. We spending time when I'm doing this, because anything that comes easy or natural for me, we innately kind of just be like, all right, God, I got it now. You could go ahead. And it's like, okay, no, I actually need him every single time that I mount a stage, a pulpit, whatever. I need his help. So yeah, that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me confident. And it's not confident in my own gifting, but who I am in him and who he is in me.
yes. Amen. I know that's right. How about you?
Ah, my perspective is a little opposite because, like, I feel like I was my worst critic, honestly. Like, I
Mm-mm.
feel like I was the one who always, like, man, I don't belong here, around everybody else. I'm like, I don't fit in any of this, so I don't think I'm good. And I did take a time where I was like, yeah, maybe this just isn't for me. Like, I took off. And then that was kind of that period where I'm like, I'm hearing people. I'm seeing people at other like gigs, and I'm just like, I can do this though. Like I can actually do this. Like, what am I doing? And so that kind of, it really was kind of a way to prove to myself that I was not wrong. And I kind of took that and like, not necessarily anger, but just, it was kind of frustration mixed with anger, but also determination. And I was like, there's no one who can tell me no anymore. Like,
Here,
I do not care. Like, it will happen because I say it will. And
here.
that's how it is.
Yeah. And what was the anger from? Just like I'm not letting myself be played anymore. I know I can do this.
It's really just like I'm not doing myself justice. I'm angry because I am going out here. I'm just doing little peeps here and there. That's not cute. When I know that I'm capable of so much more. And I do think in my beginning stages I had a much more or less controlled voice. So it was not easy for me to have the stamina and things that I wanted. So I developed that at home on my own through rehearsals, through
Yeah.
everything. I made it happen. And I think what the cool part about that too is once I started to kind of show that level of tenacity, a lot of things just happened. It wasn't hard for me to find a band. It wasn't hard for me to have shows. It wasn't hard for me to do a lot because all of a sudden I'm rehearsing 8 hours with people. And I'm like, yeah, this still isn't good enough. So we need to make sure we walk out here and no one can say no. That's like kind of how I am still.
Yeah,
Like I turned that sort of perfectionism into something more positive, I think.
Mm,
I love that. I love that.
yeah. Yeah, that's good. When you build that confidence and finally just accept who you are, what you are, your artistry, all of that is just like, okay, now we're ready to go.
For
Now we
sure.
can go. Yeah.
For sure. I think living below your potential is just frustrating within itself too.
Yes.
Because your body knows, your spirit knows, everything knows like I am supposed to be here. And I'm playing down here like I don't know who I am and what I'm supposed to be doing. And it's frustrating because you stuck between who you currently are and who you know you're supposed to be. And the time in between that is just like, oh my gosh. But when you get up and you start doing something about it, it's just like, man, like you said, the will that you have, the determination to like get it done, and the doors that open just because you believe in what you have is crazy.
Yep. Yep. I agree. I agree. And I think some people can think about that frustration as either being ungrateful or, you think you're supposed to have this when, you should be content with what you have. But no, I think it's the purpose. Your purpose, like you said, your purpose is not being fulfilled, and you're not, like you said, the potential is not being shown in its completeness. And that will definitely cause frustration, and I think that's a good thing because I think the frustration and the anger, like you said, Samiah, will push you to go ahead and fulfill your purpose, live out your potential, and take that step to move forward into whatever you need to be doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's really the only thing that can happen. You have to be sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, sick and tired of being sick and tired. Yeah, exactly. Good, 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 good. And so when you have that fear or any type of anxiety or anything, just kind of moving forward past that, what are maybe two things that either you tell yourself or something that we, the audience, can use? What are two things that are helpful that could work through that?
Somebody, you want to answer that?
I can. It'll go back a little bit to my next question. Well, my last answer, I guess, rather. So when I say that when I step over that threshold and that's when it ends for me, that is, it's great to have like a cutoff point for yourself for where nothing else matters. And the way I kind of describe it to anyone else is like, even if you're not fully confident, like outside of yourself, wherever it is, but once you're on stage, that can't happen. So it's kind of like if you're going to have confidence, that needs to be like an Iron Man suit. You have confidence to the utmost, the 100% level. You be the you that's you see in the TV, that you see on the movies. You be that 100% of the time on stage. And then once you step back over the threshold, you take it off like a suit of armor. You can be you. You can be nerdy. You can be shy. You can be all those things. But once you're up there, put it on, take it off like a suit, you know?
Mm. Now, do you think it's kind of like two personas, like
It
split?
can be, yeah, and it kind of has to be in some ways where if you kind of get into the level of alter ego, yeah, sure. If you want to give it a name, you can. I don't think I have, but in which case you do have to become that different human once you're up there because that person's not you. And if you can separate that from you who has doubt and fear and everything else, then once you're up there, that is still the purest form of you without all of the negative qualities. So once you really get down to it. But in a way, you kind of have to, if that means faking it by putting on that armor first, then you got to put it on and go up there, perform, walk back off and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. Like, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. What about you, Liz?
I don't know.
Hey, you gotta be honest.
I don't know, baby.
Listen,
The only advice that I could ever give anybody is believe that you have what somebody else needs. That's it. Like, you are the best at being you. That's all you can do, right? And so
100%.
once you master just being who you are, an authentic version of yourself, then the sky's the limit. Like, it don't matter what arena it is. If you're being yourself, people will be able to relate. They can't relate to what's fake. So be
Yes.
yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really that's the power. That's what the power is. Just being you, for real, for real.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And kind of getting back into what you were saying, Samiah, too. This is for both of y'all, do you feel like the confidence that you have on stage is a different type of confidence that you have in your own personal life? Are
It
you
was
the two?
initially, and that's why I say if it even if it's not you, because even though I was so scared, I had to start somewhere. So even if I wasn't really confident, I had to pretend, I had to create that armor that I was speaking about earlier. But eventually, as I continued to do that and do it successfully, I realized that those two people kind of became one. Like that is actually who I am, and just was afraid of being on the daily.
That's good.
Interesting. Okay, being afraid on the daily. What do you mean by that?
So who I am daily, like that person is actually Samiah. Like it's not the shy person entirely. It's the me that I was afraid to show to the world. You know what I mean? Like that is actually the me that I don't show people.
Very interesting, because we're multidimensional,
Mm-hmm.
right? We don't just have one flat surface.
Nope.
You know, we're happy one day, we're sad one day, but obviously we have the joy that God gives us, the peace that God gives us. But in our flesh, in our personal life, we have different moods, we have different emotions, we have different personalities. One day, a different day, throughout the day. I really like that's interesting because I think same for me when I first started to sing, or actually even beyond that, when I was a young kid, I was very shy. I was very shy. And I remember, I was so shy that my mom had to literally sit me down and was like, come on, like, you can't just be not speaking. You can't just, go around so quiet and not speaking up and, things like that. And so, that gave me the okay to be like, okay, well, I guess I should speak more. I guess I should speak up more. I guess I should use my voice more. And so, but I may still have moments where I don't want to speak. Maybe I just want to stay in that, not so much shyness, but just to myself, keeping to myself. And there are moments when I want to be loud. I want to be look at me. I'm gonna sing the song. Let me just share this music with you. That kind of move. So yeah, definitely have those different personalities, those different sides to us. So that's really good. That's really good. Yeah. Was there ever a moment when you felt like you really shared something from your singing with someone else, and you just kind of felt like this is what it's all about? Maybe a reaction from someone, maybe just your own reaction to yourself, right?
Kind of. Kind of. I would say that happened probably around the pandemic when I started kind of writing a lot of the stuff that's been released recently. I would say I was probably not so great a songwriter. That too takes time and patience and, just enough to hone your craft. You got to learn to actually be proud of what you do and keep moving. When I think it actually clicked was around the time when I was writing like Demons and Meant to Be, was when I looked at all the demos I'd done prior to those two, and I was like, I think what I really am not doing is like putting myself into these songs. So they're all very surface level, and that really annoys me. So I had to literally, every song I've written since then has been a personal experience for me that I've put into a word form. And once I started doing that, I find it so strange. Like, if people have asked me other questions, like, how do you write healing music? And I'm like, oh, man, I didn't even intend it to be that. But I guess it was that, because in writing about it is kind of like expelling any sort of negative emotion and sort of like a catharsis for me. And so it's kind of cool that other people can pick up on that, because that actually wasn't even my initial intention. But in a way, it's still true. Like, it did heal me personally from getting it out.
Love it.
Yeah. So the songwriting
Mm-hmm.
kind of showed you like this is what it's about for me right now. What about you, Liz?
I think pretty similar. In 2016, I put out a EP called A Warrior's Worship, And those songs came from a very sacred time with the Lord. And we are in 2023, y'all. And I still get inboxes online of testimonies from people who have listened to that music and said that whatever the situation that they were going through at the time, it changed their lives. And I'm like, yo, like that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think at this point in my life, it's an insult if I'm done singing this and somebody comes up to me and says, wow, you sounded great tonight. If that's all they say, that's an insult to me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's about more than that for me at this
Yeah.
point. Now, before, if somebody said, you killed it, you sounded great, like, I'm going home on a high. But now it's just like that is that thing. It's that thing that is like, intangible. You know what I'm saying? That you can give of yourself to other people and they receive it the same way that you felt when you wrote it, when you heard those chords in your head. You know what I'm saying? When you heard those words for the first time and put them down on paper. And if they could feel the same way that you felt when you wrote it, it's like, okay, that's what it's about. Like, that's what it's about.
Yes,
I
I
agree.
agree.
That
That's
was
beautiful.
beautiful.
But both of you, yes, definitely. And I think that is just a testament to who you are as an artist, of course, person, and then also artist. And so when you have those moments of doubt or fear or discouragement, you can just pull that out of your archives in your mind and just say, hey, I'm encouraging people out here.
Yeah.
So let me use that to encourage myself. And when you have those moments of, anxiety or whatever, it's like, let's knock that on out of there. Um, do both of you think that fear is something that you can ultimately eliminate? And that's all those types of fears, anxiety, stage fright, any type of performance angst or anything like that. Do you feel like it's something that you can truly at some point overcome? And not to say that maybe there aren't little moments where you have to, like, okay, it's coming, so let me just really, like, get my head in the game. But do you feel like it's something that you can overall overcome?
I think ultimately yes, because like you said, you're always gonna have those moments, and even if say everything's going well at the level you're at now, once you get bigger, you're gonna be nervous to do that, and even bigger, you're gonna be nervous to do that, and then if you're playing a stadium, you're absolutely gonna be nervous to do that. But at the end of the day, once you've accomplished all of the goals that you have, so say you finally get to that big stadium, what is there to fear? Is how I look at it.
Mm, okay. Yeah.
I think as long as you keep climbing, like it's absolutely going to go away.
Mm, interesting.
Is there like healthy fear?
Yes, I would say so.
I think I
Probably.
I think you need a little bit of healthy fear. And I think that it might not necessarily be fear. It might be like excitement, maybe. I don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
like that little thing that you get right before it's time for
Adrenaline.
you to go up. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah.
feel like that's healthy fear. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're alive. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
you're still excited and passionate about what you're doing. It hasn't become stale. It's not like, oh child, I do this, like whatever. You know, you still feel like, oh, I'm about to go up there. You know what I'm saying? I feel like
Yeah.
that's a healthy
Mm-hmm.
it keeps pride at bay, I think.
That's what I
Mm-hmm.
was gonna say too.
Yeah. So I think that I mean you can, but would you want to? You know what I'm
Good.
saying? Like you can eliminate fear completely, but would you want to? And I
Right.
think that for me, I need a little bit of like healthy fear just to keep my feet on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Keep me from being prideful and boastful because it's easy to cross that threshold and be like, child, I got it. And then sooner or later you're gonna be
I
Look,
agree
look
with you
at
on
you
this
talking
because
about.
that's true. Like the only ever time I ever had a bad show was when I wasn't afraid. Like that is
Interesting.
actually very true. Like when I
People,
don't have it, that's when things go wrong. You know.
you
But when
see,
you have that anxiety, then you're like, all right, this is gonna be a good night.
yeah, because you're gonna do your best. You know, like something good is about to happen tonight. But when you don't feel that, it's just like,
All right,
what
this
is
thing's a
going
great night. Like I don't know
on?
what's going on. It feels kind of weird tonight. Like
Hmm. Interesting. So what exactly do you think it is that okay, so more so the excitement, right? You're revving up, you're getting ready to do something exciting. So that could be more of a healthy fear. So if you are you thinking it's more if you don't have that, you're not necessarily concerned about it, or again, like you said, somebody being prideful, and it's you're not really, your heart is not in it.
For me, I feel that way. Like I feel like I've done things where it was kind of like, oh, I'm gonna just go sing for these 45 minutes real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And it's like, girl, like, what? You
Hmm.
know, like you will start to get to a point where you're arrogant, but in a very subtle way. It's just beneath the surface. You're not really saying outlandish things out loud, but in your mind, you kind of like, oh, I'm gonna just go do this real quick, and it's like you get your behind up there, and it's like, girl, you was terrible tonight.
yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
I've been there.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I feel like it's just like, yo, like keep a level head, and you confidence and being arrogant is two
Two
totally.
different things.
For sure.
The line is thin, but it's two totally different things. So you just gotta keep a guard of your heart. Be intentional about the way that you handle things and what you think about things. I'll say it like that. Be careful about what you think about things. And so it's like, yeah, like I need a little bit of healthy fear because that helps me know like I'm still here with it. I ain't arrogant. I don't think I know it all. I don't think I got it all together. Because one thing I do know is always somebody better.
That's
So please don't do yourself the disservice of thinking that you've arrived.
Hmm.
There's nothing else for you to learn. There's no skill that you need to sharpen or anything like that because those are the shows that you're going to get up there and it's going to be terrible.
yeah. I
Hmm.
will say that. I guess when I was saying it, I was thinking of more lines of once you get to like the biggest stage you ever played, you don't really have a sense of fear of like the stage you're on, but you still can't stop growing. So she's correct. You can't rest on that either. You have to still have that zeal for it because I do think once you lose it, then it's not fun anymore. It's just like a job, you know.
Mm. Just like a job, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. Just going through the motions. You know what? It almost seems like the way you're describing it is there's not necessarily a word for it, or maybe I don't know the word for it. But you know how there's in other languages they have the different different forms of love, right? Agape,
Yeah,
all these different types of the same word. It seems like maybe we're missing an actual word for that healthy fear, for
Right,
that, like, you know what I mean?
right.
yeah,
Interesting. 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 Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I could definitely get that. Definitely get that. It's pushing you to stay in the moment, to stay
Yeah,
keep your heart in it, stay in the gratefulness, stay in the what the whole message is about, that your
yeah,
artistry is. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. What is, and this be our last question here for the day. What is one word? I know I hate doing the one words. What is? I'll say maybe a couple words, or maybe a phrase. Something that truly describes your journey through, you know, through fear in singing.
oh, that's hard. Why have this question? Oh no. Okay, let me think about it. Oh no, it's so cliche. Look at my brain. Okay. Well, I guess if I had to answer it, it's definitely like blossoming, I guess.
Mm,
That's
It's
a good
very
word.
cliche because the EP is the flower and the serpent. But yes, it's kind of like that.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just heard something the other day. Actually, it might have been today, on social media. They were saying how you have to be patient and you don't you don't get angry at a flower because it hasn't bloomed yet. You don't get angry at the bud because it hasn't bloomed yet. No, you wait, you let it, you water it, you give it sunlight. You let it go through its process. Yeah.
Process.
Mhm. That's
Mm,
your word.
yep.
Yeah,
Process
Yeah.
I heard that.
for sure.
I heard that. It is definitely a process. Mine is probably journey. It's a journey. I mean, everything in life is a journey, and I think the older you get, the more you experience, you really come to understand that word journey.
Yeah. And the cool thing about it is we all kind of described it in three different perspectives.
Right.
So, but it is the same thing at the same
Yeah.
time. So that's so
Exactly.
cool.
Isn't that
Yeah.
amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
Process, budding, journey, blooming. Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. Awesome. Oh, thank you so much, ladies. I enjoyed that. Thank you
I really enjoyed it.
for
Thank
sharing
you
your
for having
story.
us.
And where can the people find you? And I don't know if you all didn't know, Samiah is a rock and roll singer, amazing artist,
I love that.
songwriter, Elizabeth, gospel,
Oh
artist,
my
and
God.
and I do the little jazz. So we're all just
Period.
you know. So where can we find you?
Everywhere. I'm on iTunes, Spotify, the name Samiah, and that's Samiah, as my tag says somewhere. But yeah, you'll find me there. And take a listen to the new EP, The Flower and the Serpent.
Yes, new music out. Check it out, y'all.
I love that. You can find me on all music platforms under Liz Loren LAU. What is that, y'all? Asterisk?
Posh. Oh,
Apostrophe?
yeah, I think it's apostrophe.
Apostrophe REN. What is an asterisk?
Oh, that's like the little don't spell the little star.
Yeah. Okay, so LAU apostrophe REN, Liz Loren on all music platforms.
Yes, check it out, y'all. Check them out. Support them. Thank you both so much for joining us. This was a chat with friends series, flying and flying free, singing through fear. So thank you again, and we'll see you guys again next Monday, same time, same place. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Later.
Bye.